Joining us now, National Border Patrol Council President Brandon Judd. It's good to have you back on, Brandon. What's going to be the impact of former President Trump going to the border later this month?
It's going to be a large impact. He's going to take the cameras with him. The exact reason why Vice President Kamala Harris does not want to go to the border. He's already fixed this problem. He's going to highlight that. He's going to show that the Biden administration has completely and totally failed on an issue that is always in the top 5 of the American public. They want border security, and this administration has not given them that.
Yeah, you're right. The polls show that. And now we've got Democrat Representative Henry Cuellar of Texas begging Vice President Kamala Harris come to the border. He is saying that what's happening is hampering what Border Patrol needs to do in following the laws that Congress wrote, and it's threatening putting American citizens and surrounding communities in serious danger.
Well, Representative Cuellar, he understands what's at stake right now. He knows that a Republican was just elected mayor in the city of McAllen. That just doesn't happen in that particular area of the United States. And so he knows that he could be in trouble going into 22. He knows that Democrats are vulnerable going into 22 simply because of this issue and this issue alone. And he wants it to be fixed, yet the administration isn't doing anything.
So Trump is ready to pounce. He spoke at a North Carolina Republican event earlier this month. The former president is expected to hold rallies in Ohio later in June and in Florida in early July. So he's basically going to be goading and pushing on the Biden administration, saying, you guys have been derelict in your duty in terms of protecting the country. What happens if the president and the vice president say nothing in response?
Again, it's going to hurt them going into 24. But, you know, I'm glad that he's going to go out there. I'm glad that he's going to goad them, because I really don't care about much other than the security of this great nation. We want to see the border secure, whether it's Democrats, whether it's Republicans, whoever's going to give us that border security. That's what we want, and that's what the American public wants. So President Trump is going to go out there, and he's going to say, I solved this problem. I got rid of the catch and release, and the Biden administration brought it back, and that's why the numbers have soared. And that is a good message, because that's the message that's going to resonate with the American public.
We're talking about the equivalent of Nebraska showing up at our southern border in this fiscal year. That's the estimate. Estimated 2 million apprehensions. The Biden administration, in its first weeks, reversed, as you have pointed out, Trump's border policies, triggering the worst border crisis in a generation. We're talking about getting rid of the Remain in Mexico policy, stopping the construction of the border wall. It's gotten so bad in Texas. Texas is moving to build its own border wall. It worked in San Diego, but Texas Governor Greg Abbott is getting vilified for that.
Well, I can personally tell you, when people say that this is the worst border crisis in a generation, I can tell you this is the worst border crisis in the history of the United States. You have to compare apples to apples, not apples to oranges. And what's happening right now is extremely different than what happened back in the late 90s and early 2000s. This is something that we've never dealt with before. We've never seen anything like this before. Consider that it took 35 years to add 11 million illegal aliens in the United States, if you believe that number. And in 5 months, another nearly 500,000 people have been added to the population of the American public. That's insane. That's a pace that we've just never seen before.
That's an important point you just made. And also, what's really ramping up is the drug cartels distracting Border Patrol with, human smugglers bringing in toddlers and children. So then they're distracted, and then they're pushing through record amounts of fentanyl. The amount of fentanyl seized at the border has quadrupled. You and I have talked about how just 2 milligrams can kill somebody. 1 kilo can kill 500,000 people. This is really dangerous stuff.
Yeah, and talking about the distractions, when you look across the border, my station, the station that I'm assigned to, that station's been shut down because we have to go to processing. We've got so many people crossing the border illegally. We've never shut down stations before. And because we're shutting those stations down, the artificial gaps are being created, and the cartels are able to get their products across, and it's killing our children. And it's simply based upon policy. It's this administration's policies and failure to properly act that's harming the United States.
Brandon Judd, thanks for joining us, and thank you so much for your service to our country. Come back soon.